Hi there, guys. It said Google Expert on there. I'm not too sure. It's quite big boots to fill. Basically, I'm one of the agency development managers in Google, and we're between the Leeds and London office. In a nutshell, really, my role is to support Opticommerce, both directly but also with their clients. But I thought it would be great today to come down and hopefully give you some beneficial information that you can take away. Just see what we're getting from Google side of things for your industry. So what I'd like to go over is 4 key aspects, really. Is firstly, the current industry insight. So what's actually happening, or what's Google saying that's happening in your industry at the moment. Then we're going mobile. A few people have mentioned this in a few talks already, but we're seeing it globally that more and more people are starting to use mobile for searching and converting. So we'll go into a little bit of that, and we've got a free takeaway for you as well. Also, we'll have a quick look into the customer journey. So what are actually people doing whilst they're searching for you or converting on your website? And then also I'll go into the Google Partner Program and what that means to yourselves and what it means to Opticommerce. So at Google, one of the benefits that we have is that we've got an absolute ream of data which shows what people are searching for, how they're searching for, and what they're doing, basically, a little bit like Big Brother. When I was asked to come do a talk, I started having a look in to see if there was any interesting statistics within the optical industry. Now, this is specific to the UK, and what we've actually seen over a year is a 9% growth in search volume and inquiries, which is quite astronomical. What made up of that was 48% of that came from mobile, 39% of that came from computer. But what's most interesting is that because of the growth, we're actually seeing an abundance of people searching, and there's not enough people that are actually capitalizing on this, or there's not enough companies that are capitalizing on this. So what we're actually seeing is a 19% decrease in the CPC, which is a cost per click. So as Cookie mentioned, you're only actually paying when someone clicks on your advert, but once they do, that's decreasing year on year. So in terms of your mobile website, what's really important, and as Cookie mentioned, is to make sure that once someone is on your website, so we're doing all this great hard work to try and get them there, is to make sure that once they're there, they're engaged. And what we tend to find is 3 out of 5 people, if it doesn't load within 3 seconds, will actually jump off your website. Or what I've also put there is people are 5 times more likely to leave your mobile website if it's not friendly to them. So what we've come up with Google is, because we're seeing this trend globally, and we are seeing that more and more people are living their lives through their phones. And I think there was an interesting statistic that I read the other day that I think it's 40% of 18 to 35-year-olds, their first contact in the morning isn't even from human beings, it's picking up their phone for an alarm and then checking the news, checking their Facebook. So what we've come up with at Google is a free way to test the performance of your mobile site to make sure that you're engaging fully. So if you want to jot down the link there, what you do is you just pop your URL into the tool, and it'll come back. And what I did is I was a little bit scared, actually, because I actually asked Google to Google itself and then analyze itself. Luckily, the internet was still up afterwards, and we're all right. But what it'll give you is a score out of 100, firstly on your mobile friendliness, then on your actual mobile speed, and then on your desktop speed. But then what you can opt in to do is get a free report, and what that'll do is send it to your email address, and it'll give you where you're falling down on these points. So if you are 81 out of 100, what is it that's bringing your mobile site or your mobile speed down, and how can you improve that? So with the 9% increase in search volume, keeping in mind, I think it's really important for us to take a step back as a business and see what is it that people are doing whilst they're searching, why are they searching, and what are they searching for. And what we like to term as micro moments. I'll go into a little bit more detail. So if we take, for example, someone picking up their phone, throughout the day is made up of different micro moments. So it's 7:15 when you wake up, could be finding a place for your breakfast. 7:53, Could be watching on your way to work, could be watching a video on how to fix a leaky tap. And it goes on, but it's at different points here of where is it that we are making our presence seen to a customer. So we can see here, we can actually segment it down into the different actions that people are taking within these moments. So I want to watch what I'm into moments. So 53% of online video viewers watch online videos to inspire what they're entertained by. And YouTube's actually a #1 platform for 18 to 34-year-olds to choose what and explore what their passions are. And YouTube's actually classed as the second biggest search engine in the world. Second to Google, of course. And another micro moment, I want to know moment. So someone who's out there who's looking for information, maybe they're looking for information regarding a degenerative eye disease. So 65% of online consumers look up more information online now versus last year. So that's growing as well. 66% of smartphone users turn to their phones once they've seen a TV advert. So it's hammering home the fact that if someone's out there and looking for something, we need to make sure that we've got a presence there. I want to go moments. We've seen a double-fold increase of near-me interest searches. So if we take, obviously, opticians for an example, if someone's out and about and they've got a spare hour and they Google an optician's near me, have we got a presence there? Are our adverts coming up? And now one thing I would say, if there's anything that you take away from this, when you do get home tonight or tomorrow and you've got a chance, either with your shop or where you live, just Google opticians near me and see who comes up. Is it yourselves? If not, maybe it's something to look into. I want to do moments. So 91% of smartphone users turn to their phones for ideas whilst doing a task. So making sure, again, that we've got a presence there when they want information of how to do something. And ultimately, the most important, you could argue, is I want to buy moments. So people who are in the market, they're looking for something, they've got a clear purchase intent. We need to make sure that we've also got a presence there. So 82% of smartphone users consult their phones while in store deciding what to buy. So being able to have a presence in these different aspects not only is giving your brand an awareness, but it's also putting you in the bucket to make sure that people have got an informed choice or that you're there in their considerations. Many customers aren't brand committed. So what we're seeing is 51% of smartphone users have discovered a new company or a product whilst they've been searching on their phone. With that in mind, you're getting a shot at your competitors' customers. So 1 in 3 smartphone users have purchased from a company or brand other than the one they're seeking just because that brand had an awareness over the other one. And literally by being there within the search, you're driving brand awareness. So as Cookie mentioned before, even if your advert's appearing at the top of the page, no one's clicked on it, you're still not getting charged for it, but it's still building your brand awareness because you've been seen. Maybe someone's come back and they're going to be looking for an optician's later on in the day. Straight away, your brand pings to mind because they've already seen it on the advert and then they go directly to your website. So again, if we take another further step back and have a look at where people are actually searching for, we'll find that UK supporters or consumers will consult on average around about 10.4 different sources before they actually convert. Some of the main ones that we see are firstly mobile, which we would say is the most important at the moment. TV, Google search is obviously a large one. The news, your website is very important. Social media and YouTube. So if you look at it from a brand aspect, well, what does it actually mean to you as a business? So when someone's in the I want to know stage, it's making sure that you've got the presence or you have the awareness that your brand's out there. Consideration, they know that they want to purchase something, they know they want to do something. I want to choose, making sure, again, that you've got a presence. And conversions, I want to donate, I want to buy. Again, making sure we've got a presence. And loyalty is a remarketing aspect. So once we've done all this great hard work to get up to this stage, like we've said before, people these days don't really have brand loyalty. So what are we doing? What are we doing in a remarketing sense to make sure they are actually coming back to us, or they're repeating their business, or a lifelong customer? And for each of these, you can see that Google doesn't have just the search platform, but actually we have many. And then for each different stage, we recommend being on these different platforms to increase your awareness through each different stage. So just running through them quickly, the Google Display Network is a select number of sites. I don't know if anyone's heard of AdSense, but basically people who own websites will opt in, such as bloggers will opt in to show adverts on their website. You create your own digital advert and it goes up on the website. YouTube, in-stream YouTube adverts, which appear before a video. Search, obviously, which we're aware of. Gmail is targeting, like Cookie mentioned, with email marketing. So what's the actual scale of each platform? And it's really interesting to see that Google Search reaches 90% of the global online population. Now, with that in mind, it's really interesting that there's a stat, or we've just sort of published a stat to say that even though it makes up 90%, or it reaches 90%, it only makes up 10% of a person's viewing time. So where are they the rest of the time? And how can we reach them? YouTube reaches 87.4% of total online population. AdMobile, adverts on mobile, currently is reaching 91.5% of 18 to 34-year-old males. Again, we can segment it down into demographics. GDN, or the Google Display Network, reaches 95% of online users. And 64% of people have already got Gmail accounts. So there's all that potential there for you being on these different platforms. What I'd like to go into now is a little bit is what it means for a badge partner such as Opticommerce working directly with ourselves at Google. So ultimately, they are benefited the extra market knowledge, so the likes of the data that we've went through at the start. If you are getting in touch with Opticommerce, we're able to provide this to them to obviously ultimately help their clients. Performance of your actual accounts. So we look at optimizing, making sure once you've started an account that it's performing well, and then support them ultimately throughout the time of the account. In time as well, I understand that maybe some of us have got smaller businesses and haven't really got the time to invest in looking at AdWords. But this is where Opticommerce can come in and take that off your hands and look after it for you. So when you are looking through at an agency, to be able to be a Google partner, the agencies have already met a certain type of criteria to be able to become partner. And through this, they get optimization of accounts, which we've already spoke about, which then we support with clients. The market insights, like we've already went over. Beta programs, so if Google have got a new platform coming out or a new way of advertising, then if you're working with a Google partner, then that's afforded to yourselves as well, something that maybe gives you the edge on the competition. Strategic insights. Now, if we feel as if within your geographic location that not many people are actually searching on YouTube, then we will let you know and say there's no point in putting your budget into that. And ultimately, best practice as well. What is it that you need to be doing to get ahead of the competition and ultimately reach those goals? Thank you very much for your time today, guys. And I hope that's been of benefit to you.